I just got from a conversation, literally just finished the conversation with a great colleague of mine, and you will know who he is, by the way. He was on a mission to launch something really cool with data, with smart wearables, and change and continuously improve the space of chiropractic and touch more lives. And it got me inspired to think about one thing, which was client and patient retention. Hey guys, what's up? We're in motion behind the scenes of what it looks like to build a meaningful, successful, highly impactful practice. And I do this without any scripts. So what I talk about today might be something that literally happened 5 minutes ago. The other videos on the YouTube channel and the podcast that we have are much more scripted, with strategies in place and diagrams being drawn and so on. So today I want to explore a couple of things. The first thing is this. So I was talking to this colleague of mine, and I hope that we become good friends in the future. Our paths will definitely cross. But they're launching a very cool smart wearable device, and it tracks nervous system health objectively. And I cannot wait. I physically cannot wait to see in 5-10 years time how much more objectivity we can bring to chiropractic, not just with orthopedic testing, posture scans, x-rays and things like that, but also from personalized data. I was in the space a while back. I didn't decide to pursue it because I had other projects on the go, but I'm definitely going to be supporting this project. And it got me thinking, how do we retain clients, and how do we assure that when people start care, there is so much more beyond the point of pain or lack of pain, or beyond symptoms. So I'm going to share a few strategies with you, and I hope you guys can hear me well, because even though walking in nature, there is literally a building site next to me. But I did promise you that in motion, the series will be very raw and definitely not filtered. So retention is a funny thing, because a lot of practice we work with, and actually that's the mistake I made when I first opened, was it was all about new patients. We need more new patients, we need diaries to be busier, we're not seeing new patients, this is how we build a business. Then you have this realization as a business owner that is, yes, new patients are important, but equally, if not more important, is what is your philosophy about health? And how do you present that in a manner that patients understand, they get it, and they become lifetime clients? Not because you want them to, because they understand the truth of first principles, what health is, and they choose to stay. So my vision is, well, how do I make this easy and just follow a common sense pattern, so I can create what we call sticky points in my practice, whereby patients come in for pain, but they stay because they want to keep well. This wouldn't work, by the way, if your core philosophy of chiropractic health and well-being is, I'm put on this planet to treat pain and symptoms. So maybe there's discrepancy in your belief system and your understanding of health versus what I'm talking about. So I hope I don't offend anyone, but if I do, well, I'm just sharing and documenting what works for us, okay? So don't hate, I still love you. This is what we do. So the reason why I said it has to start with a philosophy is I can give you all the tactics and strategies of how we retain clients and how we have systems in place and procedures. But if you truly don't believe that people need to come in for them to reduce the symptoms to start with, but they choose to continuously have care because of preventative measures and optimizing health and well-being, and if that's not your belief, then you're going to find it very difficult to have any type of retention system in place in your practice. For us, therefore, it starts from the message. We have a motto in our clinic, and I have it written in like whiteboards and the documents that we produce, is we change people's lives ... one patient at a time. The reason, and by the way, it didn't start like that. My first thing was like, hey, we build healthier, happier communities in Essex. We deliver the best care. So the message has evolved as I've evolved as a practitioner and as a practice owner, and it has to evolve. And what's interesting is, the more you clarify your message, the simpler the statement, your mission statement becomes. We change lives, one patient at a time. The reason why I said that is because we do change lives. People come in for back pain, neck pain, sciatica, headaches, and so on. And in a few months' time, they realize that they feel so good that they never want to start relapsing again. And they didn't even know what it felt like to feel good, because we've gone past the baseline of their health and what that was before the symptom occurred. And we've taught them about stress management and nutritional advice and functional medicine stuff and supplementation and functional movement in terms of keeping their core stable and not relapsing, as well as, yes, getting adjusted, as well as keeping, interference free from your nervous system. But for me, chiropractic was so much more, because we were able to build this family-based service that actually changes people's health. So when we talk about retention, if your message, if your belief system is not congruent with what true health is, then you're going to find it difficult, because your clinician's not going to communicate properly, your email marketing, your messaging on the website and everything else would be quite sort of short-lived if the focus is the symptom, the pain. So that's that. But in terms of tactics, in terms of strategies, in terms of systems that we build, we have what we call like a unifying tool. And our unifying tool in our clinic is the Road to Recovery journey. We talk about something on day 1, we talk about something specific on day 2. We have the same little tool that I think I've shared it on other YouTube videos, so please go back and watch it. It's definitely something I talk to my private clients about and our Practice Speak members. We have this whole like 6-week training we did to show the journey through the patient's point of view, and to find one tool to communicate that with a CA, the front desk team, rehab therapist, massage therapist, and chiropractor. So we all sing from the same song, and we just call this our Road to Recovery part for the patient's Road to Recovery journey. And that has little tick boxes. So you'll say something on day 1, you'll say something on day 2, you have a certain conversation on, we have a third visit appointment, we have something on report of findings, and you bring that visual, a physical, tangible thing that occupies the space in your clinic and hopefully in the patient's mind. And we have the same digital format applied to their patient app. So that's one tactic, that's one strategy which is very tangible that you can do. You can find the tool that the patient can almost visualize the next 3, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, a year of their journey and what that looks like. And then you start to bring the frameworks and the scripting and how you would communicate chiropractic and the healing and the body's remodeling and all this stuff in a visual manner so the patient can see it. And then we have other things such as more objective measures. On day 1, we might have digital x-rays. If we're, for example, I don't know, we're trying to identify if someone has spondy or not. That's another sticky point. But in terms of retention, we then build table talk scripts. So how do we use... The human brain is a funny thing, right? It doesn't learn from things that it's not learned before. It learns from recognized patterns in behavior. So if I want to, and what I'm trying to say with that is, if I'm trying to explain a concept that the patient doesn't understand, I would use it in a language that they understand and use an analogy that they already use in life. So instead of me saying, hey, each time you come in, we adjust your spine and we take pressure off the nerve and we get the joint to move, we work on your muscle, I might say, hey, each time you come in, it's like cleaning your teeth. Or each time you come in, it's like going to the orthodontist. They will tighten the braces, and after a few months, you kind of smile and you see completely different structure to your teeth, which leads to different function of your bite, which then leads to hopefully healthier, better looking jawline. Okay, whatever the analogy is, patients will understand it because it's something they've already done in their life. I wouldn't necessarily talk about neuroplasticity of the brain and how we're changing input to the nervous system, because to them, that doesn't actually mean much. I might speak that as we progress week to week, month to month, but it definitely wouldn't be the first thing I say. So definitely speak the language of what patients speak. That's a big sticky point when it comes to retention. Another thing might be, hey, how do we communicate with patients when they're not actually in the office, where they're physically not in your practice? Well, a lot of the conversation actually takes place then. Remember, we're trying to change behavior. We're trying to change behavior. So you sending one email, or you having one conversation, or you doing one adjustment, it's not going to do much to that patient's actual behavior. And a lot of the things I try to do is, well, how do we actually make a change to people's behavior? And the way you do that is through repetition, through education, and through simplicity. So we try to gamify things. So we have our patient's app, we can upload exercises on there, they tick boxes, they have push notifications. So they might, I don't know, for my app, if I was a patient of my clinic, every evening at, I think it's 8 p.m, I'll get a notification to say, boom, time to do your stretches. Or time to do your breathing exercise. You can change whatever the behavior that you're trying to change is. So there's so many strategies that you can encourage people to have a higher retention with you. And I've not even talked about the results. Of course, the foundation of your chiropractic clinic should be, I'm a very good chiropractor. It should be, all your clinicians are looking after your patients as well as they possibly can. And of course, people go to colleges for 4 or 5 years. So you assume that they'll be good, but you've got to also invest in the team, and you've got to invest in the training, you've got to invest in the mentorship. We have like a 2-week onboarding process even before one of our associates touches a patient, even if they have had experience. So you invest in the team, you invest in the technology, you invest in the messaging, and then you start to do this on consistent basis, which is the hardest part. And that's where we have the automations and where we have the, we call them retention funnels of the emails that patients receive. And what does the email say based on, I'm out of breath, based on the stage of care patients are at. So there's so much to think about. And I think because of that fact, I think a lot of clinicians and a lot of clinic owners actually don't do anything because they feel so overwhelmed. But if I was to work with you, or if you were to join the community tomorrow, the first thing I would say is, what is your objective? What are you trying to achieve? And you might say, hey, I want to have better retention rate because I noticed that we're really good at patients starting care and they get symptom free within a few weeks and then they drop off. Well, great. Okay, so that's a communication problem. That's a value problem. The patient lost the value because they didn't understand what chiropractic does and what you're trying to do with your clinician, or what your clinicians are trying to do with that patient. So there's lots and lots and lots of cool stuff we do. We also have, we launched that a year ago now. It's working really well. We call them Road to Recovery classes, how to get better results faster. We do these monthly, and that's done by different clinicians. So if my patients are, I've been talking to them about chiropractic for a month, I actually want the class to be delivered by someone else so that they can hear the diversity of how we communicate chiropractic within the clinic. They might get 1 or 2 little snippets of important information that they didn't hear from me, from one of my colleagues. So that's really important for us. We launched them this year. We have a very sort of structured way we do that, the talk. That works really well. We have the tools that we discussed. We have the onboarding and retention funnels that we do, which is basically an email sequence. And we do a whole other bunch of stuff that I feel like for a 13.3 minute video, I've spoken a lot already. But I think this is actually really important for you guys as an exercise to do as soon as you put the phone down, is writing down what is my retention system in my clinic. Based on what I've heard, what you've heard from me in the last 10 minutes, this is probably 1/3 of what we do. And very often it's not just what you do, it's how effectively you do that one thing. We had a coaching call last night with my Practice Speak members, and one of the members was just a little bit overwhelmed. She was like, oh my God, I just know what to do. I just actively procrastinate and not do it. And I said to her, well, it's because you don't have a clear goal. You don't have a clear objective. You don't have a big vision. If your vision is to help 10,000 people in the community in the next 12 months, you're going to start working backwards from that. So what I'm trying to say here is have clarity as to why you do what you do as a first stepping stone. The second one is, how do I create simplicity? How do I make it simple enough so each day you do stuff you just physically cannot fail? Don't try to implement all these systems at once. Don't start to buy the smart wearables and measure people's heart rate variability if you haven't even got a welcome email sequence, or if you haven't even got a simple tool to explain pain versus function, pain outcomes versus lifestyle outcomes. Please go back and watch some other videos that we've made to get a little bit more clarity about your business model, about your chiropractic message. And then it's just about being consistent with it and communicating it in a way that patients just get and they understand. So guys, I'm going to stop here because I've spoken long enough. I wanted these videos to be 10-15 minutes long, not too much fluff for me. I don't think people understand how much value there is in these in-motion videos. So I haven't come up with a solution of getting people to actually change their behavior when they watch a YouTube video. But I know 1 or 2 of you will watch these and go, you know what? This guy runs a 7-figure company. They've got a big team. Seems like the recipe works, right? Seems like we know how to do this consistently, and we have 5 clinics now, and we've replicated it in more than 30-40 clinics in the UK. So the challenge for you is, how do I pick up 1 or 2 things that I can implement in my practice whilst being able to see the bigger vision and the bigger picture, which typically is, how do I get new patients? How do I keep people up? How do I keep people happy, produce results consistently? And how do I motivate the team? These are very, very, very big buckets, but that's what business is. There's nothing more than those 3 subcategories. So let me know if you need any help. Let me know in the comments if you find these videos helpful. I actually do this not for myself, I do this for you guys. So I would love to be able to bring more specific topics or specific problems that you might be struggling with, or challenges that you're trying to overcome in your career. And I'm here to help. And if I can, great. If I can't help, then I'm going to keep making these videos until I can help most people create incredible practices, have a huge impact, and have fun along the way. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.